Imagine a bustling city in Argentina, filled with tango music and vibrant streets. On December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, a boy named Jorge Mario Bergoglio was born. This is the story of how Jorge became Pope Francis, the first pope from Latin America, a man who touched hearts but also faced challenges. Let's start from the beginning. Jorge grew up in a simple family. His dad, Mario, was an Italian railway worker, and his mom, Regina, was a housewife. They were immigrants from Italy, raising 5 kids in a modest home. Jorge was a happy kid, loving soccer and books. He was especially close to his grandma, who taught him about faith. But life wasn't always easy. When Jorge was 21, he got very sick. A serious lung infection nearly took his life. Doctors removed part of his right lung, leaving a scar. But Jorge didn't give up. He said this pain made him stronger, pushing him to find his purpose. In 1958, Jorge felt a calling. He joined the Jesuits, a group of priests known for education and service. He studied hard, earning degrees in philosophy and theology. In 1969, at 33, he became a priest. Jorge was humble, riding buses and living simply. From 1973 to 1979, he led the Jesuits in Argentina. This was a tough time. Argentina was under a military dictatorship, a period called the Dirty War. Thousands disappeared, and Jorge worked quietly to help people escape danger. But some said he didn't do enough to stop the violence. This would later spark debate. In 1992, Jorge became a bishop, and in 1998, he was named Archbishop of Buenos Aires. He was loved for his care for the poor. He cooked his own meals and visited slums, earning the nickname the People's Priest. In 2001, Pope John Paul II made him a cardinal. Jorge was now a big name in the church, but he stayed humble. He didn't know that his life was about to change forever. In 2013, Pope Benedict XVI shocked the world by resigning. Cardinals gathered in Rome to choose a new pope. On March 13, after 2 days of voting, white smoke rose from the Vatican. Jorge Bergoglio, now 76, was elected the 266th pope. He chose the name Francis, after Saint Francis of Assisi, a saint who loved the poor and nature. He was the first Jesuit pope, the first from the Americas, and the first non-European pope in over 1,200 years. The crowd cheered as he stepped onto the balcony, saying, "Good evening," in his warm, simple way. Pope Francis wanted a church that was open and kind. He lived in a small apartment, not a fancy palace. He washed the feet of prisoners, hugged the sick, and spoke for the poor. In 2015, he visited the United States, speaking to Congress about peace and the environment. He met world leaders, like Cuba's Raúl Castro and Russia's Patriarch Kirill, to build bridges. He traveled to places like Iraq and the United Arab Emirates, promoting peace between religions. His smile and simple words made him a global star. Francis wrote important letters, called encyclicals. In 2015, his letter Laudato Si called for action on climate change, saying we must protect our planet. In 2016, Amoris Laetitia spoke about love and family, but it caused debate. Some Catholics wanted clearer rules on divorce and remarriage. In 2018, he changed the church's teaching to say the death penalty is wrong, a bold move. He also pushed for women and LGBT+ people to have bigger roles in the church, though some felt he didn't go far enough. But not everything was smooth. Pope Francis faced big controversies. The biggest was about clergy abuse in the church. Many priests had hurt children, and some said the church hid these crimes. Francis met survivors and held a summit in 2019 to address it. He made new rules to protect kids, but critics said he was too slow to act. Another controversy was the case of Marco Rupnik, a priest accused of abusing women. At first, the Vatican didn't act because of time limits. After public anger, Francis reopened the case in 2023, but some felt this showed the church wasn't serious about justice. Another shadow came from his past. During Argentina's Dirty War, 2 Jesuit priests were kidnapped. Some said Jorge, as their leader, didn't protect them. Others said he secretly saved them. A lawsuit against him was dismissed, but the debate never fully went away. In Argentina, some leaders, like President Cristina Kirchner, didn't like him at first. But later, she embraced him, showing how complex his story was. As Francis got older, his health became a challenge. He had knee pain and used a wheelchair. In 2021, he had surgery for a colon problem. In February 2025, he was hospitalized with bronchitis, which turned into double pneumonia. For 38 days, he fought for his life. Doctors called it a miracle when he left the hospital. Francis was open about his struggles, saying he wasn't afraid of death. He even planned his funeral, choosing a simple wooden coffin and a burial at Santa Maria Maggiore, a church he loved for its Virgin Mary icon. On April 21, 2025, one day after Easter, the Vatican shared sad news. Pope Francis had passed away at 7:35 a.m. in his home, at age 88. The cause was double pneumonia. The world mourned. People remembered his kindness, his calls for peace, and his love for the poor. Cardinal Kevin Farrell announced his death, and the church began 9 days of mourning. Pope Francis left a big mark. He was a pope of firsts, first Jesuit, first from Latin America, first to speak so openly about the environment and peace. He wasn't perfect. Some loved him, some criticized him. But his story, from a boy in Buenos Aires to the leader of 1 billion Catholics, shows a man who tried to make the world kinder. As he once said, "Let's not forget the poor." And maybe that's his greatest lesson. What do you think of Pope Francis? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories. Thanks for watching, and let's keep his message of mercy alive.